One tank. That's it. Germany spent the equivalent of millions building a high-speed naval wonder ship capable of carrying exactly one tank. Not a fleet of tanks. Not a battalion. One. Single. Tank. Welcome to the bunker. I'm Professor Von Blunder, and today we're diving into the VS-8 hydrofoil, a vessel so brilliantly useless it might have been designed as an act of revenge against the Nazis. Picture this. It's 1943. Rommel's Afrika Korps is getting pummeled in North Africa because supply ships keep getting sunk by the British. Germany needs a solution. So what do? Build hundreds of regular cargo ships? Boring. Instead, they commission a cutting-edge hydrofoil that can zoom across the Mediterranean at breakneck speed. The catch? It can carry one tank per trip. Genius. Absolutely genius. Let's explore how Germany turned logistics into comedy. The VS-8 hydrofoil was supposed to be Germany's answer to the North Africa supply nightmare. British ships and aircraft were turning the Mediterranean into a graveyard for German cargo vessels. Tanks, ammunition, fuel, all sinking to the bottom faster than they could be replaced. So Germany decided to get creative. Instead of building something practical, they built something fast. Really fast. The VS-8 was 32 meters long, displaced 70 tons empty, and was designed to hit speeds between 45 and 50 knots. To put that in perspective, most cargo ships at the time plodded along at about 10 to 15 knots. The VS-8 was a rocket. It used two supercharged Daimler-Benz MB501 engines, pumping out 5,000 horsepower, and two U-foils to lift the hull out of the water. In engineering terms, that means the boat rode on underwater wings like a pelican with a caffeine addiction. The theory was brilliant. A small, fast vessel could slip past British patrols unnoticed. It was too quick to catch and too fast to trigger naval mines. The deep draft of 4 meters when sitting in the water dropped to just 2 meters when it was foil-borne, or as I like to call it, tiptoeing on the ocean. It was the largest hydrofoil ever built until the 1960s, an engineering marvel, a technological masterpiece. And it could carry one tank, or 10 to 20 tons of supplies. Now, if you had a supply crisis in North Africa, what would you build? Because Germany built a Ferrari for delivering a single pizza. The math is staggering. To make any real impact on the North Africa supply situation, they would need to build hundreds of these things. Hundreds. And here's the kicker. Part of the VS-8's advantage was that the British would overlook a single small fast boat, but a steady stream of hydrofoils zipping across from Sicily. That's not subtle. That's a parade. The British would have countered them just as easily as the regular merchant ships they were already sinking. So they built it, and that's when reality came crashing down. Literally. The VS-8 had a few problems. Problem 1, those supercharged Daimler-Benz engines. Turns out they were in short supply, probably because Germany was busy using them for, actual tanks and aircraft. So the VS-8 had to settle for the weaker, more abundant versions. Instead of 5,000 horsepower, they got 4,000. That dropped the top speed from 45 to 50 knots, down to 37 knots. Still fast, but not fast enough. The underpowered engines struggled to get the VS-8 foil-borne in the first place. In tactical terms, that means the boat couldn't get up on its tippy toes without huffing and wheezing like Timmy after running to the latrine. Problem 2. The surface-piercing foils, those underwater wings I mentioned, didn't handle moderate seas very well. Choppy water. Forget it. The VS-8 bounced around like a caffeinated toddler on a trampoline. Problem 3. Turning. Oh, the turning. Any turn greater than 5 degrees and the entire vessel dropped down onto its hull like a bunk bed collapsing under a moose. Let me demonstrate. Timmy, get in the model VS-8. Now turn left. Just a gentle, and there he goes. The hull just slammed down and Timmy's face first in the bilge. Perfect. Problem 4. The VS-8 had a deep draft and couldn't get close to shore, so it was useless as a landing craft. Problem 5. It was vulnerable to small arms fire. In military terms, that means a guy with a rifle could ruin your whole day. So let's recap the performance review. Underpowered, can't handle waves, can't turn, can't land on beaches, and can't survive a stern look from an infantryman with decent aim. But here's where it gets interesting. The designer, a man named Saxenberg, had been dragged into the woods by the Nazis and nearly executed before being convinced to work for them. My personal theory? He built the VS-8 to be gloriously, spectacularly useless. A revenge masterpiece disguised as a warship. He got paid, his buddy Schertl got to live out his hydrofoil fantasy, and the Nazis got a boat that could barely float. Poetic. Time for the stupidity meter. Let's rate this disaster. Money wasted? Astronomical. They poured millions into a ship that delivered one tank at a time. Enemies killed? Unless you count the British sailors who died laughing. Collateral damage to Timmy, crushed when the boat dropped onto its hull during the turning test. Overall, stupidity score, 9 out of 10. The only reason it's not a perfect 10 is because there's a chance, just a chance, that Saxenberg deliberately sabotaged the whole project as revenge for nearly being murdered by the Nazis. If true, that's not stupidity. That's art. So here's my question for you. If you had millions of dollars in 1943, what completely useless weapon would you build? Let me know in the comments. And somebody check on Timmy. I think the hydrofoil is still sitting on him.